Welcome to episode 211, Halloween update from Nepal. 4 years since we last visited. And we have 3 of the 6 or 7 guests that we had on 4 years ago revisiting us to tell us a little bit about what's transpired over these 4 wonderful years and where they're at now and where they plan to be. So this should be an exciting episode. We have Richa Suri, who's now preparing for her placement exams, trying to come to the United States, some institution. In the interim, she's run a couple of workshops on massive open online courses, or what's called MOOCs, for teachers and students in her district last year. She excited them and had 70 people attending. We have Sneha Adhikari, who's completed her high school degree since she was here, and she is studying software engineering at Pokhara University in Nepal. She's been fortunate enough to learn from massive open online classes since she was in grade 10, and she used them for her studies now at the undergraduate level. Congrats to her, Sneha. I think all 3 of them, at least 2 out of 3, were in a research study that I did. Is that right? Raise your hands if you were in my research study from a couple of years ago. So all 3 of you, right? So we've got 2 publications from that. We'll get into that. I have a couple questions related to that. We have Bishwa, Manushi, Timilsina, originally from Pokhara, Nepal. Now she's in the United States at Sweetbriar College studying engineering science and has this grade point average of 4.0 right now going so far. And she's in Virginia in the States. Over the summer, she's become a camp counselor in Nepal. She's received all sorts of leadership awards in multicultural communities, resident advisor, communications lead for Google Development Student Club, among many other things. She's exploring cybersecurity and web development through CodePath, deepening her passion for technology and community engagement. I'm sure the list goes on and on for her, as well as the other 2 guests. We also have Bishwa Gautam, who's with the U.S. State Department, I believe, in Kathmandu, and was involved early on in the work with MOOCs and helped these kids learn English via the MOOC and get certificates from Harvard and other places for learning English. Is that right, Bishwa?
Yeah, they completed the MOOCs, and also we facilitated them and provided certificate who attended the facilitated sessions.
And maybe we need to get more of an opening statement from you, Bishwa, since the teacher that's been involved in here couldn't join us today, and you've kindly jumped in to offer some background information about the MOOC project. So before we go to Sneha, Richa, and to Manushi, could you tell us a little bit about the background? Because this was pre-pandemic, right? You were involving kids in Nepal learning English, and they started learning English from MOOCs, and some of them were involved in, I guess, Motherland Secondary School and other high schools as well. And so Bayman, their teacher, was a leader in this and got other teachers involved and other students involved, and it went viral. It went district to district, but it started with Motherland. Were all 3 of you part of Motherland Secondary or from different secondary schools?
No, I'm from Motherland.
Yeah. Richa?
Yeah,
I'm
also
from
Motherland.
different secondary school.
Okay. And Sneha?
I'm from Motherland.
Okay. So 2 of 3 of you were. And what city is that in? Is that in Kathmandu as well?
That's in Pokhara.
It's in Pokhara. And how far is Pokhara from Kathmandu as the crow flies?
200 kilometers.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Bishwa, can you give us a little more background information about what's gotten you excited about MOOCs and the potential of MOOCs within a country like Nepal, which may have a lot of difficulties accessing these free and open contents, but you found a way to do so.
Yeah, so this goes back to almost 2014 when we actually were able to get some more courses. So when internet and other electronic devices, the access to them was easier, students started doing courses, and of course there was offer of courses, short-term courses from various universities and especially course providers like edX, Coursera. Primarily, initially, those were the initiators. And we also had our few students complete simple courses like grammar, a few courses on different topics on grammar. And then after when we had our English language specialist from UC Berkeley here in Nepal, she also supported in promoting the MOOC because she facilitated, she designed and offered a MOOC from UC Berkeley on writing 2x. And then after we worked heavily with Baman, who was already in MOOC marketing, let's say, and he was supporting his students as MOOC as a tool for their English and other academics upliftment. And then we actually worked with Baman in 2016 for the countrywide project. And he and his team, I think, I don't know, Bivushi and Sneha were there, reached to more than 12,000 students. Many of them actually completed the MOOC courses through edX and Coursera that time, because that time, if anybody completed the course and applied for a scholarship, they could get certificates. So they could do a course and they would get immediate result or response of the course. I mean, the assessment was immediate and they would get a certificate. And that was a kind of a big deal for Nepali students, because in Nepal, the assessment systems are differently set up. You have classes and then you have a specific date for exams. And then you sit in the test, you pass, and then after a few months or so, you get certificates. But in the MOOC, they completed the course, they got the courses from renowned universities in the US, and they got the certificate immediately. That was a big motivation for them. So then in 2016-17, Baman and his team and we went throughout the country, and that actually brought a lot of attention to many schools, government and non-government. And also we have program called Access, English Access Scholarship Program. And we also requested the students and Baman's team to collaborate for this MOOC. And many of our Access program students completed MOOC. One student, let's say a typical student completed at least over 230 or so courses. You can just imagine.
230? Did I get that right?
Yeah, in few months, like in 6 months or 5 months. So many courses, so many certificates. And we actually provided a certificate appreciating his great effort.
So when you say we, that's the US State Department, right?
No, he did courses from various institutions.
Right.
We have some MOOC courses, but those are basically for English language teachers and learners or professionals.
No, I mean, when you say we, your team, you're in the US consulate within Nepal. Are there similar projects like this going on in other nearby countries, or is this unique for Nepal only?
It was unique only for Nepal because we wanted to proliferate MOOC in Nepal.
Okay. So we need to talk to the young people here about their and get an update. And then we'll go to Punya, Lydia, and Chris. Chris Didi from Harvard's with us. Punya Mishra from Arizona State University is coming to us from a hotel in Orlando, Florida. And Lydia Cow is coming to us from Toronto. And they've got questions, I'm sure a ton of them, and they've been waiting to ask. But we need to hear from all of them. But final question for you, Bishwa, before we go to them. Bayman sent me a note this week saying he's very upset because now Coursera's charging a fee and you no longer can get financial aid from the big MOOC companies. So the young people in Nepal can't take advantage of the MOOCs anymore because they're no longer free. And he says we need to have a concerted effort to make an appeal to Coursera and others. Have you heard this as well about the financial aid issue?
It's true, and yeah, in the past they used to charge for certificates. If you don't want to get a certificate, it will be auditing status. But now they don't. They anyway want. I think something like $49. It used to be 49. Or even if it's $5 or $10, sending money from here is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So it's it's a huge challenge.
If you can help us out by finding an email contact, I'm sure we could together as a team write an email to Coursera and explain our perspective on this, and at least make an effort to help in this regard. So
Yeah,
please share
that
the
would be great, but
Coursera.
I don't know. They are an independent business organization, so I think they will consider for a special group or pack, but I don't know what they will do because they are abided by their rules, regulations, right? So
Yeah.
they're doing business at the end. So yeah,
I see
but we can.
Bayman is in
Yeah.
here. His otter. He's recording this. We need to go
Yeah.
to the young ladies in the audience. Richa, it's been a while since I talked to you during my research project a few years ago. It's good to see you here again. Could you give us an update from when you were here 4 years ago? What's transpired in your life, especially in terms of education, in particular as it involves MOOCs or open education or use of technology in education? Tell us what you're doing and what's happened.
Yeah, 4 years ago, I was in my junior high school, and then MOOC really helped me. MOOC has always helped me, even when I was like 10 years old, and it is still helping me. And like in these years, between these years when I was in high school, I took science. So I had chemistry, physics, maths, computers, subjects like this. And I enrolled in courses. I actually used Coursera, and I enrolled in courses that helped me understand the basics, the intermediate level, and also the expert level of all these subjects. So Coursera is still helping me in this way.
Okay, we should move on to Sneha. Would you like to give us an update, Sneha?
So when I last talked to you, I think I was in class 10 or 11. At that time also, I think that massive open online courses made a big difference in my life. But now that I'm actually in my bachelor's degree, right, I'm doing undergraduate studies in software engineering. Now is when I noticed the most difference that massive open online courses have brought into my life. I'm actually in the second year of my undergraduate degree, but the first semester was so easy for me because since I was in class 10, I think I had been taking a lot of online courses based on computer science, and it was so easy. First semester, I didn't have to, like, I already knew everything the teachers were teaching, and it was so easy for me. Some of the teachers were also curious because sometimes they would ask question in the class, and I would always be the one like, yeah, I have done this, I did that. And they would ask, can you do this? And I would always be like, yes, I can. And they were also curious because those kind of topics were not taught in high school, right? But I knew most of them first semester was so easy for me because of what I had learned in the past. Some of my friends were also curious about that, and they asked me how to learn those things and how to get those certificates, because getting a certificate is so good. It's like a reward, right? When I'm watching videos in YouTube, educational videos, I don't get those kind of certificates, so I don't have a proof of learning. But in courses, I get the proof of learning, and it is so rewarding. I feel like my friends missed out on getting those certificates because Coursera does not provide those certificates right now. When I first started, I think I realized something. I missed out on getting a certificate from Harvard University because edX used to provide free certificates, and when I started, they had stopped. So I did not have a certificate from Harvard University. These guys might have those certificates, but now when I'm talking about online courses with my friends, there is no way they can get those certificates. I have like a lot of certificates because of Coursera's new policy, and that's kind of sad because like education should be for everyone, and these people are willing to learn and change their lives. They are set on becoming software engineers, and even my teachers were mesmerized by, oh, this student is doing this and she already knows this. Maybe my teachers were also trying to explore that, my friends were trying to explore that, but because of the new policy they can't, which is really sad for me as well. I was trying to revise some of the things that I had learned previously from Coursera, but most of the materials were restricted, and I think it's kind of impossible for me to pay because our payment methods do not work in Coursera. Even if they worked, the charge would be a lot more, and it would just not be feasible for payment.
Okay, so great. Thank you for that update. We'll
You're
probe on
welcome.
that in a couple of different ways, I'm sure. Manushi, you're muted, Manushi. There you go.
Since those last 4 years, I was in high school when we talked earlier, and it's really good to see you all again. So over these years, I completed my high school and I applied to several universities in US, and then I got accepted into multiple universities. But I chose Sudbury because it had a really good engineering program, and I also did the virtual tour, and I also talked with like my academic advisor and other professors, and the research they were working on and the courses they were offering was what really interested me. Then I got here, and I had always continued my MOOC journey. I was taking online courses when I was in high school, but as my friends mentioned, like the courses, I started taking online courses through edX, and then they stopped providing a certificate, and most of the courses were that I wanted to take were not the ones with financial aid. Then I switched to Coursera, and Coursera was the one that I was using. And the problem with Coursera was there were only few courses that would provide financial aid and provide the certificate. At that time, it was 2 years ago, and but since I have been here, they have not been providing certificates, and the courses that I wanted to take regarding like engineering and technology, they were not offered. So I was always trying to look into alternative options of online courses that would provide me the courses that I want to take along with the financial aid, because financial aid again is a really essential part for me to take the courses. So over the years, after trying to find alternative solutions, this year I was successful to find a online course, and it's CodePath, and they did provide me the courses free of course. But the part was like they to get enrolled in their online courses, you have to be a undergraduate, full-time undergraduate student in the States, and then you need to have your college email in order to apply for the courses. So I was able to apply to their courses, and right now I'm taking their cybersecurity and web development courses, and it's been a really good journey. But like the journey of trying to figure out the online courses that meet my needs along with my financial status was really struggling. But now I was able to find CodePath. My friends were also like really interested to know about it, and we are taking those courses together. And last 2 years, some of my friends were able to take courses from Coursera when they were offering financial aid and also the certificate, and helping them get the certificate and like helping them throughout the process was really really satisfying and really happy for me as well. Yeah, it's been a good journey so far. But
So who'd like to jump in with the first question?
So I can jump in here. So first of all, it's such a pleasure to see all of you again. I remember that episode back in October of 2020 was, I've always regarded as being one of my favorite episodes of Silver Lining. You know, Kurt and I, when we used to, sometimes we have been asked to present about Silver Lining, and he and I always fight over who is going to present that episode, because it was very meaningful for both of us. In particular, what stood out for me was just the passion and commitment that you guys showed towards learning. And what happens is very often in more privileged spaces, you know, let's say the US or something, school is seen as, learning is seen as being a chore, that is being something that's being imposed. And in some way, what you guys sort of spoke to and are still speaking to is this passion and this urge to learn and use that to grow and develop and become better at anything that you do. And I just want to commend, really didn't have a question necessarily, but wanted to really commend you for that. A quick comment about this change that is happening with Coursera and things like that, which is really sad, right? Because at one level, these organizations were set up with the core idea of democratizing education, of making education accessible and available. And you know, and it's kind of sad that the core business models now don't allow that to happen. And as Bishwa said, that, you know, that this is their business model, and that at some level that's a tragedy, because it is denying access to not just you, but your friends and other people across the world, what they could have had, which is a sort of a great high quality sort of an educational experience. But I just want to have a question, because I was reminded of something from when we had talked last time, which is that, you know, you had all started with sort of taking courses on language and so on, and then you found out that you could learn other things as well. And I see Bivushi is laughing as I'm saying this. So I'm curious about, like, what, apart from sort of, you know, the thing that you started with, the availability of this experiences, what other ways has it allowed you to grow and develop or think that may not have been something that you had anticipated before? Like, what has surprised you about this sort of experience? I would be sort of curious to hear about that, because I remember that really stood out to me when we talked last time. And that's 4 years ago, almost literally. So you guys have grown and developed a lot in that time. So anybody can step in and talk about that. All right, Bivushi, go ahead.
So over the years, like I originally started when Baman sir mentioned about the English essay writing course, and at that time, like I was trying to like learn English in like a better way, like learning about essay writing techniques and stuff. But initially, I thought it was like only for English courses, or like the courses that would help you like better improve your English language. Then I slowly figured out, like after a few years, I figured out like it does offer courses on other field. And one of the best part of online courses for me was like I was able to see the courses and like get involved in the courses that had my interest, and figure out if that was something that I really want to do in the future, or I want to like, I was like switching from like psychology courses. I also did some courses related to medicines and stuff, and then I tried technology stuff. So it helped me figure out like the thing that I was really interested in. And it was really helpful when I chose my degree for my undergrad, because like directly so one of when I was studying in Nepal, like we were allowed to take courses based on like what was offered. It was not like you can take the courses that you are interested in, and we were not allowed to like switch between different options, because if I was studying something related to technology, I was not allowed to switch into something that teaches about like business or psychology or anything. But like online courses was like a platform for me where I could see like different options available and get it enroll in the courses, learn about those topic, and figure out like what I was really interested in and what I want to do in my future. And like over the years, I tried different online courses, and then I took one course regarding the website development. It was like a beginner course, but that really developed my interest in like web development. And now I'm studying my undergrad, and like when I'm taking other courses, even in my university or like online courses today, I know like the basics of the other courses that were offered, and that has helped me to decide like which course I want to take and what is something that really passionates me. So that journey was really helpful, and like I'm forever grateful to online courses because it helped me choose between like the various options and figure out my interests.
Thank you. Richa, Sneha, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I would like to add on that.
Sure, go ahead.
So my experience is similar to Bibushi's Didi's experience. At first, when I knew about online courses, it was introduced to me by my English teacher, right? So I thought, oh, he's gonna make me take essay writing courses and grammar courses. But slowly, after I took about 5-10 courses about English, and I discovered a whole new entire world of learning. My learning was only restricted to what our course offered us, right? So when I discovered the many subjects available in online courses, I studied everything. I went wild. I studied astronomy, I studied cybersecurity, I studied computer science, I studied paleontology, and that was really exciting and unique for me. And because those subjects are not traditional, they are not taught to us. So I was like, b- mostly because those courses were free. That's why courses being free is so important, because I went wild. They were all available to me after filling up an application. So I studied everything, and maybe that's why I am a software engineer. I could have been a paleontologist if that course had interested me, right? So I think that provided me with the educational freedom, that provided me with the ability to choose and choose and choose and know what I really was interested in. Because if I chose a degree in my undergraduate studies without knowing what it is really about, I could have been uninterested in it. I could have hated my entire undergraduate degree, but learning about it beforehand was so amazing. That's why I love my undergraduate studies. That is why I'm so excited to become a software engineer. I knew I loved it beforehand. So that is the magic of online courses, right? That is why I love online courses.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you so much. Now I remember it was you who had talked about paleontology last time we had we had met. All right, Richa, go ahead. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, so I have a bit different story, and I really like have so much fun when I start telling my story, how I started my MOOC journey. So I started my MOOC journey when I was in grade 6. I was 9 or 10 years old right then. When I literally didn't have any idea what was MOOC, and I didn't had any interest at all, but I wanted to compete with my seniors because my seniors were well known about MOOC. Baman sir gave a session on it. They were like 10th graders or 9th graders, and I saw them doing online courses and getting certificates and being like rewarded or being appreciated in the assembly. So the urge inside me to get appreciated as well increased. So that's why no interest, but I wanted that appreciation. So I started doing the courses. I didn't know what the courses were actually like. I didn't like actually had interest in it, and like so I took help from my like some of my seniors and completed couple of courses like which was even beyond my ability. So I was not actually able to do it by myself, but I got help from my seniors. So after that, I gradually like also like my urge for these certificates started to increase more. So it was like a competition between me and my seniors. Like two courses, three courses. Then after that, they stopped helping me because I was going ahead of them getting certificates. Then I had to figure out myself how to do it. Then actually I got into the courses. So my first course, which I did with my own interest, was dog emotion and cognition. It was like, and I really love dogs and cats. So that striked my mind. So I got into the course and I studied it. It's like, I think it was like 5 week or 6 week course, and I attended all the sessions seriously and looked into it. And I was like comparing it with my dog. I also have two dogs, and I was like comparing the like activities, like the things described in that course, and like absorbing my dog, like this, comparing it with my dog. So that was my first course that I did with interest, and eventually I started to grow. Like I was in 7th, 8th, 9th. Then I chose courses that was like that helped me in my regular classes, like essay writing and like computer technology, math, and everything like that. Then after that, like when I was in I was in like 8th and 9th, it was COVID-19, like Corona time. So Bamboo sir provided me a link of free courses. And I started, like Sneha, I was also gone so excited and about it, because I didn't have to like apply for financial aid and wait for 15 days. I would like get instant course, enrolled into it and do it. And then again, I had competition with my friends that who will complete course. And then there were also some Spanish courses. So for the Spanish course, I would like use the Google Translator. I also wanted to do the Spanish course, even I didn't know Spanish. So I translated the questions, the transcript into the Google Translator and translate it into English and try to understand it in my own way. Though my percentage in those courses were not good like as compared to other English courses, but still I completed them and got the certificate. So then after I started my high school, then I joined courses about physics, chemistry, maths, according to my studies. So yeah, that's my journey.
Thank you so much for those stories, and they're deeply inspiring to me. And I just have one quick comment to make. So when I was growing up in India, I didn't have access. No, there were no MOOCs back then. There was no internet back then. There was no email back then. But what I did have, because I was in Delhi, which is the capital, were two libraries. There was the British Council Library and the United States Consulate Library. And I remember, and to go to those libraries used to be a bus ride over Delhi DTC transportation buses, and you know what they're like. For more than an hour to go there to change two buses and go. So I got my parents to get multiple memberships to the library so that I could go once a month, and I could pick up these books, like I could get 20 or 30 books and come home, and I would read them over the month and then go back. And it's exactly what you're describing, which is this discovery of this world of paleontology, of psychology, of this and that, which really, make me who I am today. And I'm so inspired by hearing your stories. But there's a bigger point I want to make, that there is something that I think that Kurt, Chris, you, and like to appreciate, which is the soft power that countries like the United States and Britain can have in these spaces, right? The British Council Library, the USIS, these MOOCs that these companies here are producing can be so transformational for young people across the world. And I give a lot of credit to the US Library and the British Council. That's where I first read Martin Gardner. That's where I first read Stephen Jay Gould. That's where I first read, so much stuff, which still is core to who I am as a scholar and as a person today. And I just want to underscore that soft power is something that we often underestimate. We think about power in different ways, but there is a transformational power to these resources being available to youth across the world that is absolutely amazing in its long-term potential. And it's hard to even put a dollar figure to that. Like who can make that? So anyway, with that comment, I know others have questions. So Chris, I think you wanted to go next, but I really want to thank you for those stories. That was wonderful.
So thank you for your thoughtful reflections. I'd like to ask you about comparing online learning experiences to face-to-face learning experiences, because you've had both. And I'm curious as to how each of you would see the contrast, which things might be better online, which things might be better face-to-face. Are there certain kinds of subject areas that you would rather take online or rather take face-to-face? I'd love to hear about how you would characterize each way of learning and when you might choose one and when you might choose the other.
I can go ahead. So regarding like the difference between online and the face-to-face classes that I have taken. So for the online courses, those are the courses that I want to like learn at my own pace and like dedicate like the time and like study it. The on pace are also like study whenever I want to learn and like dedicate my time, or like either it's like weekend or like or any other free time that I have. And regarding like the face-to-face classes, those are the classes that whenever like I choose between like face-to-face and online classes, like one of the main thing is like if it's something that I want to learn by myself, or like it's something that I know that I'm interested in, then I would rather take online courses and learn at my own pace and like complete my assignments and the projects that are offered in the online courses. But if it's something like a new course that I have not have like much idea about, I'd rather take face-to-face class with the professors and then learn about it in class and like interact with them and ask them about any queries I have. So that is one of the thing that I choose whenever I choose like online courses and face-to-face classes. And also one thing, when I took online courses back when I was in Nepal and when I was like coming to the States, like the first meeting with my academic advisor here in the States, like he mentioned about like the transitioning from the Nepal system of education to the United States. And one thing that really helped me was the online courses, because I had like a basic idea of how the courses are going to be and how I'm going to do the assignments and projects and like the method of teaching. So I talked with him about the online courses that I had taken, and that courses really helped me in my transition, even if it was like face-to-face classes when I got here in the university. But those the method of learning that I had learned through the online courses had really helped me transition into the system of education in the States. So that was one of the really beneficial thing.
So like face-to-face classes are like have like specific time. We have like limited access to things, and it is monitored by a professor, a lecturer, or a teacher. Like where we get limited time to like share our views and opinions. So whereas in online classes we have bound of opportunity, a bound of we have huge time to explore more and to have research on different things, and like in like face to face learning, like we are not we are like bounded by one respect to the like the lecturer, our teacher, that if I can say this or not, if it is okay to discuss it now or not, because any of the other students might get offended if it is it might sound rude. But it online, our personal, we can place our personal view like individually, not in the like we can privately send our opinions, our what that thing we want to say. So
I would like to speak now.
A little
The thing
louder. Go there.
so the thing about face-to-face classes is they are bounded within a syllabus, right? We have to study predefined topics. Um, as a student, I'm really curious. I want to learn about current affairs. And at this time, I'm really interested in cryptocurrency and cryptography and all of the trending issues that are happening in the world, right? But I also need to learn about the basic things that are taught in software engineering. So the basic things that I need to know are and I learn in college. Those are my college hours. Though that's when I learn things predefined within a syllabus. And when I come home, I'm a night owl. I'm so much more productive when I'm learning by myself at night. And that's when online courses help me to go wild, go free, learn about what I want, and it's so amazing. So I don't prefer online course or physical classes. I think they are both really important, but online courses is so exciting. It's about what I want to learn. Physical classes are about what I should learn, but online courses are about what I want to learn. So it's kind of like filling gaps that face-to-face classes cannot fill. So that's why I think they work so good together to enrich my mind and satisfy my curious learning student. That's what I love the most about both these aspects.
Well, this is helpful for me. And what I would say that I'm hearing in part is that all three of you are very self-directed in terms of your learning. You know what you want to learn, you know how you want to learn, you know when you want to learn. And so online provides a kind of control and expanded menu for you that you don't typically find in a face-to-face setting. And of course, one of the goals of education is to graduate ultimately people who are self-directed in their learning. Nobody wants to go to school for their entire life. And so if you leave formal education empowered to do what you do, which is to say, here's the next thing I'm curious about, here's how I'm going to learn about it, and I'm going to make the time because I care about it enough to do that. That's sort of an aspirational vision for what we'd like all students to have. And I'm just wondering, as a quick follow-on question, and then I'll toss it to Lydia. Do you feel like you're self-directed about life? I mean, are you just kind of self-directed people? Or was it MOOCs that MOOCs kind of opened up your learning something about yourself and how you approach making decisions about life?
I would say MOOC definitely helped me like self-direct my path because when I was studying in high school back in Nepal, like the career choices that were offered were all the traditional career choices that my seniors had followed or like my family had an idea about or like my teachers had like suggested me. But like MOOC was something that helped me figure out something what I'm really interested in, not like the traditional path that were followed. I could have like followed the traditional path as well if I was interested in that, but like my decision to study engineering was because I really liked the concept of cybersecurity, web development. When I tried myself, like when I tried to develop website by myself, or when I tried to learn about the technology myself. So online courses did help me self-direct my life. It helped me like really figure out like what I was really interested in and what I want to like work on when I like do my undergrad or when I when I continue my further study. And another best part of like online learning was it helped me choose something, and like it helped me to see various options that were offered that were not offered in my like face-to-face classes. And even now when I'm here and I know I'm studying engineering, the reason I'm still continuing online courses is because there are certain courses that I want to take this semester but they are not offered in my university or they are not available for the face-to-face classes because of like various reasons, and they are like offered on another semester, like another year. But if it's something that I really want to learn now and like continue like learning about it, and I can take that face-to-face class next semester. But if I want to learn about it right now, online course is something that help me and like provide me an option to take the class right now, even if it's not offered face-to-face in the university. So I would say online course definitely helped me self-direct my learning, and it gave me like a new world of like possibilities. Like it gave me a new world of possibilities where I can take the courses that I want to learn, even if it's not offered in face-to-face classes, or if even if it's not something like traditional method of learning had helped me. So it definitely helped me with my self-directed learning and like my future goals.
Yes, I would also say that book has really helped me directing my life or in different decision making things. So when I was like in middle school, like and junior high school, I didn't know about the universities all over the world. Like I was only limited to the colleges, the schools that were in my locality, because I live in far western region of Nepal. It's not like that much developed. It is kind of rural place. So here in that time we also didn't had much of access of internet, so I wasn't aware of it. But after I was into MOOC courses and I was doing Coursera, EDX, and different online courses, I got to know about the university. Like I got to know about Harvard, Boston, and Oxford, all of the universities of the world that I I would like be privileged to get into, study into, and set my goals to study on that university. So then I started to be more aggressive towards my studies, because and at that point I knew it is so difficult to get into those university. Million of people fight to get scholarship. Million of people fight to get even enrolled into the college. So for that, being an average student isn't enough. I have to be like much offer than average, just an average student. I have to make strict goals, and I have to make be more directed towards my life and what I wanted to be. So and online course has also helped me to choose what I want to study. Like I actually did variety of courses. I also tried sociology. I also tried psychology. I also tried science. I also tried biology. I also tried computer cybersecurity. So that doing all of that, I really like knew at one point what I really wanted to do. So at the end, I decided I would do cybersecurity and web development for my after my high school. So after I got to know what I wanted to do, then I was directed towards it only. I left all other things and I was doing computer related, IT related, technology related, web development, cybersecurity, data science related courses. So that leaded me into a like path, and yeah. So MOOC has really helped me in decision making than self.
So since we're talking about directing our lives, we're talking about self-directing our lives, right? I would like to mention that when I was in class 9, my life was already directed for me. I was supposed to study biology and go to medical school, and other people knew about these careers, and I had no idea because I was in junior high, right? What MOOCs did for me was they helped direct my own life. I was supposed to go to medical school, and I did not even study biology in class 11 and 12 because I knew what I wanted. I directed my own life, and here I am happy with what I chose, and I'm studying it. And I loved that I had the opportunity to choose what I wanted, choose what I liked. So, online courses did actually help me direct my life, and from now on also I would online courses provided me with opportunity. Like there are options, right? before online courses, I thought, like, yeah, I was supposed to go to medical school. What other people told, I was supposed to do that because other people are experienced. But after taking online courses, yes, I am experienced. I know about all of these issues. I know about what exists there in the world. I know about like what the people are teaching in the US, what people are teaching in the Europe, and I actually have the power to self-direct my own life, and it is amazing.
We're going to go to Lydia for a question, and then we're going to come back to me. Lydia.
I just want to first say it's just so inspiring to hear from you. And I can really feel like your joy, your love for learning, and this just genuine motivation, like just from the screen. It's just a really great energy in this online right now. It's like this virtual room right now. And I have a question about like the online learning. And I just want to get your take on this. A lot of the learners say that, it's hard for them to complete the online learning courses because like actually there's a study on this. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Kurt, I think it's like 2% of a completion rate that people don't feel motivated to complete these courses because sometimes they feel lonely, they don't feel connected to other learners, and then it's easy just to drop like in the middle of the course. I wonder what your thoughts about this, and then also you kind of touch on like you connecting with your peers and having this like a sense of community, competing with your peers and doing these things together. So in some ways you kind of organize your own community in that, like outside of these MOOCs, which are kind of can be quite lonely. So I just want to hear your perspective on this.
I think that if you're learning alone, online courses can be quite monotonous because you're studying online, you're with a laptop in your room, and it can get boring. I have to admit it, it can get boring but I think for us, it was the motivation. After we got the certificates in itself is a huge advantage. It is a huge motivation for us. But what our teachers did is, we have a Facebook page for our school, Motherland Secondary School's Facebook page, and whenever we completed those courses, they would put up the certificates in the page, and it was so exciting. I used to compare how many certificates I got, how many certificates my friends got. So this circle which was learning online, which were like exploring different subjects, and we used to study similar subjects, which was exciting. And there's this thing called peer graded assignments in Coursera, and those helped us review other people's like assignments, and it was really exciting. I would tell my friend, please check my assignment and rate it, and I would rate hers. And it was like learning with my friends but online. So it was a huge motivation, and I think there's a page for students all over Nepal, and Baman sir posts their certificates in that page. So it was really exciting to know that, like, people who are less privileged than me are doing so many courses. It kind of motivated me to do the same. So I think that since we developed this community of learning and motivating and appreciating the efforts of people and looking at their certificates and congratulating them, it was quite motivating. That's why I think we completed most of the courses, because learning in a room with yourself with a laptop can be quite boring. I have to admit it though.
Yeah. So, like in my school, we had a group. So, firstly, I was the only one from my class who was doing the courses, and I grew so selfish at the point that I didn't want to like help my friends, because if they would also know how to do the courses and get the certificates, they would start getting the certificates and be on my competition. So, but later my teachers like described me like you should have the feeling of win-win. So you should also win and let others also win. So then eventually I started to help. It was Corona time, so I couldn't be like helping them physically, but yeah, we had like Zoom and we had other online calling platforms. So we started to video chat frequently. And I also like we had online classes, and my teacher arranged like a special classes for me where I can help my friends showing a PowerPoint presentation, how to enroll, how to sign in, and how to search the course of your choice and everything like that. And I was so proud to be a mentor and get so many mentees. So that was also a big achievement for me in such a small age. So then like my started also gradually started to do like courses with me, and then I helped them. It was not boring because like whenever I would feel it difficult while doing any of the assignments, I would ask my friend, and I would ask my mother is also an educator, so I'd also ask my mother, my father, both would help me. And a very interesting thing, I also opened a Coursera account for my mother and father. So they also like started doing the courses, and they have also completed like 10 or 12 courses. So like at that point, I was a small like mentor for all my local people. So that also encouraged me a lot. And plus, we also have on our school space called Gurukul Academy, and there like they posted the certificates and now photos, like they have completed this much. Richa has completed 22 courses now. Someone has completed this much courses now. And all my relatives would call my mother like, wow, your daughter has done like this, and they would appreciate. My mother would be so happy, and that made me happy. And that's the one part. But it's not about getting appreciated. My learning was also increasing. My education, my education was also getting better. So that was the thing. And later on, like I was completing the courses at a rapid speed. And I also got invited into some seminars from Korea and from other countries, like because I had completed so much courses in a young age. That like was my biggest inspiration and a biggest like thing that strived me to do even more. So these of things started encouraging me, and I never felt boring. At some point where there were no free courses, I was little bit like disappointed, because I got to know about a very interesting course, and I applied for financial aid, and I had to wait for some days to get enrolled into that course. So at that point I would feel a little bit sad. But later, when I get a confirmation email in my Gmail, then I would be so happy and excited to see that and get into that course. I like sometimes I was so much into the course that I have also worked on my course till 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to stop you there. So and I want to ask a question myself. That's going to be a short question because we're running out of time here today. And I want to thank you for your wonderful answers. But last time when you were here 4 years ago, I remember asking you to define self-directed learning, and I'm glad Dr. Didi pointed us back to that concept of self-directed learning, because a lot of what you do are deciding your own place, your own path, your own pace of learning. But there are two other words I want to bring up in this session, and that is the word motivation and the word help. And I just want to get a sense from the three of you, without a lot of explanations. You talked about intrinsic motivation indirectly with interest-driven learning, curiosity, taking advantage of opportunities, and learning in the community of your peers. But you also talked about extrinsic motivation, like wanting to get the certificate. You really want your goal is to get that certificate, and you were disappointed when you didn't. And also getting feedback from others about your performances and recognitions about your performances. So which is more important, the intrinsic curiosity, interest-driven learning, and being in a community of peers, or extrinsic things like having a certificate you can hold and share, and getting praise from others and celebrating accomplishments? If you had to pick one, or something else, which would you go with?
I would say like I would definitely start with extrinsic motivation, like getting appreciation like among my group of friends when I was like 10 years old was like the driving motivation when I was like 10 years old and I was taking few online courses in just English essay writing and stuff. But now I have like taken online courses over the years. Now the motivation for me is the intrinsic motivation. And now like over the years I have found my community of like the friends or that are taking online courses like same as me, and like we are working on something related to the same field. So now I have found my community of online courses and my friends that are taking online courses with me. So that now the intrinsic motivation is what has like driven me to take online courses.
I'll stop
And
you
because
there for the sake of time. Thanks. It's perfect that you switched from extrinsic to intrinsic. That's a great answer. Lovely answer. I'm curious what Sneha or Richa would say.
I think that both of them are necessary
Your mic can be a
because
little louder.
I think that both of them have equal importance because when I was starting out, it was all me. I wanted to learn, so I did those online courses. But after some time, it kind of gets monotonous because you're in your room studying alone. And at that time, when I was feeling low, extrinsic motivation is really necessary. Like our teachers hyping us up, my parents hyping me up. They would put my certificates in their stories, and other people getting curious about it was amazing. And now I know that learning for myself is necessary, but at that time it was getting kind of monotonous. And the support of friends, the support of teacher, the appreciation from school, the appreciation from Facebook pages was really amazing. So I think that when both of them are equally important, and both of them made me who I am in my online courses journey. Thank you.
Richa. A
When I
short
was a
answer,
kid,
Richa.
when I was a kid, like I was more into getting appreciation, getting rewards, and praised by my family and my teachers and my friends as a competition and all sort of things like that. But later on, I also took it like as a motivation thing because it was going to help me in my future and for my further studies, for my college, for my masters, for my further degrees. So yeah,
So
both of them.
I'm going to end with a yes/no question real quick because we're already out of time. But I just want to mention the other word is help. And you've mentioned that people helped you or supported you. This has come out again, especially in the last answer that Sneha mentioned and Richa mentioned. But help also was involved in you helping others use technology in your homes so they could take MOOCs. Some of you opened up your homes for other students. Help was involved in the teachers staying after school to get you into computer labs to take those MOOCs. And Mr. Bishwa in the U.S. consulate provided some help in terms of technology as well. So I'm just want you to think about that, think about the forms of help and support that you get and how you can in turn give help to others in the coming years to get them involved in using open educational resources and using MOOCs and other forms of online and blended forms of learning. And maybe I don't have a final question to ask you, but I did a moment ago. But I want to thank you all for coming in and enlightening us for such a great show this past hour. The hour's just flown by. I mean, just literally flown by as it always does. And taking time out late at night or getting towards 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. there in Nepal. Bishwa, we want to thank you again for your help and for all that you've done to help these young people to learn and others. There's hundreds of more young people in Nepal who've learning, thousands more who are learning from MOOCs. So Bishwa had a key role in that happening. So we're privileged to have you on the show, Bishwa.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Sneha. Thank you, Richi. And thank you, Bivushi. Thank you, Bivushi. Punya, you want to say a final word since you really like this episode?
No, I just want to thank you. I was just laughing that Richa said, when I was a kid, and I'm like, you are still a kid, but it was very sweet. But no, this is a deeply, deeply meaningful episode for me. It took me back to my childhood and the passions that get started then. And I just wish all of you the very, very best, the energy and that you're bringing to learning, which is truly the most powerful agent of change that we have, both as individuals and as a collective. And Vishwa, thank you for all your work. And yeah, thank you, Kurt, for this episode. And wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. I think, Lydia, you're going to introduce the next show.
Yes, and I just want to say your love and passion for learning and motivation is really contagious, and you really made my day. I feel like really cheered up and great. So thank you so much. Now I'm going to
Lydia, I think I thought of that question. Will MOOCs help you get into college? Yes or no? Richa, yes or no?
Yes.
I'm not into college, but I am sure that it will help me.
Sneha,
Yes, I think that MOOCs definitely helped me.
Bivushi,
It was like all over my application in Common App. Like I told about like all the courses that I was taking, and it did help me, and now I'm here.
that's the answer I was looking for. Go ahead, Lydia.
Awesome. I'm going to introduce the next episode. So we'll hear from a team from University of Oulu in Finland. They will be talking about their research in hybrid intelligence, human AI co-evolution, and learning in multi-realities. So it'll be next week at 12 Eastern time. So hope to see you.